Oh, sorry, I was muted. Can you hear me? Michael. Good. Okay, and that's so my mic is on, and let me check your mic. Can you give me some audio? Check. Just give me a check. No, I am not getting audio here. You should be on desktop. Advanced. Yes, but yeah, okay. Let me mute my.
So stream. Yeah. Yes. 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 Stream can hear me too, so that's good. Stream can hear me too. Yeah. So my sound is going through onto the stream, which is very, very good. Chat, go crazy, chat.
I can't hear you, but I think you're good.
Yes. Yes.
Hold on one sec. Hold on. You can hear me now. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Are you guys excited, chat? This is the first time we may have more chats on on YouTube than chats on Twitch, guys. This is the first time we may have more chats on. This is great. This is great. This is great. Wow. First time. Also, more viewers on YouTube and Twitch. This is great. Can YouTube? Oh yeah. Oh YouTube, my YouTube.
Michael, give me audio one more time.
Yeah. Yes.
Hold on one second.
What's up, guys? YouTubers, give me a heads up.
Okay, I think we got it. One more time.
Yes.
Perfect. We're good. You ready to go?
Yes.
All
We're
right.
gonna.
And let me just
We're gonna
capture.
be the best. Hey Gary. Hey, YouTube people, welcome.
Let me just.
This is great.
Let me just get the board updated here.
Let's see if YouTube guys hear Chris as well. YouTube guys hear Chris too. Great. Yes. Wow. First time that YouTube viewers outnumber the Twitch viewers.
I noticed that. That's yay for YouTube viewers.
Yes, guys. Leave some likes and comments, please. Gary Smith, my favorite AGA board member and executive.
We love Gary.
He's our treasurer. He pays us.
We would love him even if he didn't.
That's correct. Nice. 2 games in the afternoon. Perfect.
If you want to just move, just give me some game moves there, Michael, so I can make sure we get the right thing going. Yep, that looks good. I've got a little extra space on this. I'm just trying to figure out how to fix that. Just give me 1 second. Just want to make it pretty. I tell you what, I will. Let's get going, and I'll mess around with this. It's close enough, and I think it'll. What is going on? What is going on there? What is going? Wait. What is going on there? Hold on.
If you guys.
Why is that showing that? I don't know what that is. There's an artifact.
Good thing Good thing.
There's some other artifacts here, but you know what? It is imperfect, Michael, but I think we are going to just roll with what we have, and then I'll get on with Daniel after this, and we'll fix all the. There's some. We're good. If you're ready, I will bring you on, and you're good to go.
Yes.
All right, folks. Thanks for your patience, and bear with us. I know the visuals are a little bit off. We've had to make some some last minute changes here, so I'll get with Daniel. We'll fix those as we go along. The main thing is we are into the semifinals. Yes, we can cheer for that. And so, first of all, congratulations to all the players who fought so hard over the last couple of days. Lots and lots of very tough games. And I hear a bunch of them are actually still going over them in the break room right now, Michael. It's a pretty active scene, but it's very quiet out in the main playing room. In fact, let me just give you a quick shot of the main playing room there. There it is. It was all full of people just a few hours ago. Now it's just down to the semifinal four. So exciting. And with that, any comments in general that you want to make, Michael, about the? I know you've looked at the games before you dive into them. Anything in general you wanted to say?
No, Chris. Let's go straight into the games, guys.
Okay, take it away.
Yes. Welcome, guys. The board will be fixed. Don't worry. We are looking at the Michael Xu game versus Eric Yoder. And on the lower right of the screen, you guys will see the live feed, the images, and the player names and everything. No worries, that's gonna cycle back and forth. So no worries about that. It's all going perfectly fine. Let's first catch up to the game live, and then let's talk about other things. Great. Welcome everyone on YouTube. This is the biggest YouTube showing ever for the in recent history. So leave a like and subscribe. Make a donation to the AGA. Thank you, guys. All right, this is the semifinals. Michael is the second place finisher in Group 1, Division 1, and Eric Yoder finished first in Division 2. Record-wise, though, both of them are very similar. Michael is 3-1 in the group stages. Eric is 4-1, so very, very well deserved. So far, no one went undefeated in Division 2 with 6 players. So this is probably, so Michael has been here before. Eric has been here before too in the semifinals. Eric reached here twice, I believe, and has fallen in each of the last 2 times. Of course, as did Michael. Michael was here last year in 2024, so very good. They have some experience, even though Michael is only 12 years old. Michael has been around the block, the younger. This is very standard Joseki so far early on in the game. Michael approaches the corner. This is totally reasonable. The first interesting move in the game is this squeeze. This leads to very complicated Josekis. This knight's move, and this potion cut, this is a bit of an Eric Yoder specialty for his close friends. Talk about this a lot and have, in any case, this is called the pinwheel Joseki, and Eric Yoder studied this Joseki a lot. And I know because many of Eric Yoder's closest friends have repeatedly boasted or talked about how much Eric knows this Joseki, and he has frequently pulled it off in tournament play and gained very good advantages. Yes, so due to all of this public service announcements, when I play Eric, for example, I will avoid this Joseki, as did Michael, which is very interesting. Now, the avoidance Joseki, okay, so the first move is a very big move on the lower right corner. This is totally valid. This is not gonna lose any AI points or anything. And then Michael goes for a 2-space extension. This is a very solid play. This is quite good. And it's if white goes for some kind of a strong attack against the black stones, the two space will act as a very good counter-attacking pincer. So this is all of the black stones in the board is going to act in unison, or we're all going to work together, which is very, very good and efficient. And this is a good game plan. So then the white move here, the shoulder hitting move makes perfect sense. And this is going to lead to more complicated Josekis. Interestingly, I first was exposed to this shape against when I played my only game against the other game's contender, Guanyu's home in last year's City League finals. So I went off and I lost 15 points of AI evaluation in like 30, 40 moves and was super behind the entire game. Let's see if this is Michael's first time seeing this shape, and two, if it's the first time, let's see how he deals with it. I hope he deals with this better than I did. Um, I hope. Now, this is good because having seen this shape before and perused my game several times, I have seen many variations at the end. So these two moves are exactly what I played as well, and this is totally valid. In my game, this happened, and I got into a lot of trouble right around this area when what did I do? I did something like this, and then did not go well. So in this game, Eric Yoder played a connect, which is very modern. It's emphasizing both sides very, very well, and this is gonna do a good job too. From what I remember upon my reviews, what you're supposed to do is something simple, maybe make another push and then live inside the corner. Now, in these high stakes games, no one wants to play simple and fall a little bit behind. So um, this would be white ahead by 1.1 points. So this crosscut is reasonable, and it's something that is very, very easy to choose. Like you can, like I chose something very similar as well. Unfortunately, this cross-cutting shape is gonna be very bad for black right off the beginning. And in this case, even though a dodge Joseki, a complicated Joseki was dodged, um, black still ends up suffering greatly as a result. And this is exactly the counter and then capturing one stone. The amount of thickness here is a little too much with the side Panuki shape, and now white has a 4.3 point lead, a little bit more than um, expected, given the Joseki stages. So with that said, this is not losing by 15 points. So Michael has survived much better than I did against that shape. So good stuff. This move makes perfect sense. This is developing, and it's quite far away from the white shape, so makes sense. The next Eric Yoder move, this move is a little unconventional. The expected move is the headbutting move, and then you can get Sente and then extend. This move is noticeably allowing Gote to happen. And this, if this Gote happens, the next move, locally, white will not have as good a result, but this will push black into the upper side, and this is where white has a lot of sente moves, like this Hane and Tiger Mouse is a sente against the corner. So this has some, this has some stuff. This has some strategic thinking, um, and I hopefully I'm guessing what he's thinking correctly, but this is some good stuff. Okay, so he's willing to take Gote here. One counter to this is this. If black just pushes and blocks and sort of allows white to take Sente again and sort of just, place locally here, this is going to be a good counter strategic, strategic counter to this, to white's strategy. So, okay, let's see. In the game Black Tanukis, this is another very, very good idea. If you don't know what to do, Tanuki it. So in the game, White was able to play the S19 Sente in the corner. Here, White will be able to get one more Sente capture and also another Sente block to finish off the top right. So the top right is quite strong. There is only one push and cut in the middle here at P12, but the top right is totally alive. So um, okay. Next move, Black plays a Knight's move. So here, probably we would suggest to push and block, given how weak and how many Sentes White has. This is likely to get, White is likely to allow this to happen in Sente, and then Black would be, problem free. If this exact shape happened, White would have just a 2-point lead. In the game, Michael played the Knight's move. Okay, and fireworks started right away with this move. This is a very, very bare-knuckled attacking move. And here, this is where you're going to see this push and cut, this little bit of a weakness actually help White in this fight. Now, here, I suppose there was nothing on the outside, no problems at all. It would be very easy for Black to choose some variation where Black is giving up this one stone next to a very strong White thickness. In fact, this block may be Sente to connect the one stone again. So this might be quite good, quite a good good strategy for Black to sort of ignore the attack. But right now, because there is a little bit of a weakness for White too, it's very difficult for Black to give up that one stone. So basically, they're gonna butt heads here, and then they're gonna fight it out. Um, okay, in the game, Black blocks, and here White pushes. So now we can see here if Black runs towards, from this other side, assuming the block is going to be Sente, even if Black gets a pretty good shape, this is all going to fall, face the White thickness on the right hand side. So directionally, Black doesn't quite like this. This is very interesting. So here, Michael goes for the counter attack and attaches. This is a very double-edged sword, and here White has about an 8-point advantage. This fighting is going well for White so far. Black has to connect before committing to the cut. And here, in this shape, this connect is very, very thick. And of course, we know why White does not play this. This ladder works, and then it looks like this local result would be a fairly good one for Black. However, there's some strong ladder breakers, and then because White is strong enough on the upper right corner, this kind of ladder breaking move is it's going to gain White some value again. So it's a very complicated position, and even though locally it looks like Black is winning this fight, it's very interesting on the global scale. And of course, White already has the corner captured. Black may choose to squeeze here with the idea of squeezing White like this. This would be, looks like it's going to be fine for Black. But again, in the global scheme of things, White has just made a lot of territory and thickness in the corner, and Black has not made much territory. So he risks falling behind this way. This is a very, very interesting fight. And this connect is a very, very good example of a very strong, very thick sort of like waiting move. This quotes one of my friend's lectures at US Go Congress. It was called The Art of Waiting by Alexander Chi, fellow professional 1P. So this move Q4 Guys, feel it and then feel the strength of it. Now, if I was playing, you guys know me, I don't like to be so slow. I'm more likely to go for something like this move, where it looks like I'm going a little bit faster. However, this would only be white up by 7 instead of the connect, which is up by 8. So what do I know? However, Eric Yoder in the game chooses what you and I, what most players would also choose. Atari, and then the thinking is we're going to fight this fight out like this, or like this, or with an Atari and then fix. This would be very, very good. And it does not look like black has much to do on the outside that's favorable. Remember, before even this overall shape is not favorable for black. So with this Atari, black cannot achieve anything remotely close to that. But here, black has a very good counterattack into the corner over here. The cut, white has to Atari, a cut. Basically, I think white has to connect here. White has a 3.5 point advantage at the moment. Connect, white still has a 4 point advantage. So this fight, it's a little aggressive. It's not waiting and then making yourself super strong before the rest of the fight is just gonna go super smooth for you. This is fighting directly, and this is like very, very good as well. So in the game, white just captures and they fight this Ko. Note here, fighting this Ko, this Atari is very, very important. We've seen many Kos in the pro qualifiers this year, and many of them were decisive. Here, notably, white definitely does not want to cut Atari. This would be a big, big loss if black ends up connecting. So this is really committing to the code, whereas Atari here, and then capturing the black corner, this is much less of a loss, meaning this one stone here is much better than being placed at P2, and this would still be fine. Okay, for co-related. Check out the bounciness lecture by myself at the US Go Congress. Codes are often very, very bouncy in the sense that if you don't win the code, your opponent usually has to connect the code, which is in effect an attack into you being bounced back into his shape. Now, in this code, visually, it's visually very, very satisfying to see black cutting all of the white cornerstones apart and then almost capturing the corner and everything. Of course, white is heavily compensated as well, capturing the black corner totally. There's this leftover Ko in the corner at the end for end games. This surviving here would be about worth 20, 25 points, but it will take 2 moves. So that's going to take a little bit long. All right. So
tweaking. I'm tweaking.
Great. We're tweaking. I hope we're tweaking the board and moving it slightly to the right, maybe.
First, I had to make your head bigger.
Don't add to my head doesn't need any tweaking, guys. All right, might as well make their heads bigger. Okay, so the game continues. White has a 3-point advantage after the Ko. So you guys can see this. Black is catching up a little, but but the game is very, very still in white's favor, but very, very close. And it does not look to me, if I didn't have the OGS Katago AI, it does not look like white is ahead on this board. Here, white is ahead by 4.4 points, but I'm sure to both players in the room there, probably no one is going to say that white is really ahead. If you count up the points, this is going to be 35 and then another 10. So white has 45 points. And 45 for white, and then black's gonna have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55 on the bottom, 60 on the bottom. If the corner dice will give him, like 2/3 of the corner for about 50 points there. With the top left corner being somewhat positive, it's hard to really see this as advantageous for white until you realize how thick white is on the upper right corner and the rest of the board. So it's a very interesting game from this moment on. And here white goes for the invasion. This is exactly what you do have to do. I'm sure the move is not like this, even though it looks like white is rapidly surrounding a lot of territory. It's thickness territory, and that's not that valuable. So in the game, where it goes for the invasion, and that is exactly what you do want to do. And in the game, this goes basically how this invasion would have gone as well. So it's totally reasonable. So the choice of the exactly how to invade didn't factor in too much over here. White headbutts and black surrounds with this empty triangle move. This is where, if we were playing the game, we would sort of feel like, now I notice that black is not doing that well. Um, White has a 5.7 point lead at this moment. Black plays here because black cannot allow white to capture the keystone in the cutting point. This would be disastrous. And so this move prevents this block and this move from happening, which is exactly why this move was played. And so here, white Atari first and then Hanade. Um, Double Hanade would be the strongest, but this is a ladder that's gonna destroy black. Extend is not gonna do anything good for black because we're gonna play all these moves, turn in Sente, Hane in Sente, and just survive onto the upper side. This is gonna be bad news for black. Let's just make sure. This is white by 8, exactly in that diagram. So black captures the 2 white stones, and we're gonna have a compromise. White is leading by 3 points. So this is another crucial moment in this game. A very noticeable move is to have peace over here, but this simple Atari and then Tiger Mouse, we talked endlessly about how white does not want to surround territory on the upper side and everything, and so we can understand why white does not choose to play that. And this push is very sente, it's very good. Another squeeze is very annoying. Um, in fact, here the squeeze just works because black cannot allow white to save the 2 stones like this. So squeeze, and then black's gonna connect, and then this connecting move would be super nice. This would be, white's next move is to diagonal move into the corner. White's gonna make 10 points in the corner, and look, this is where black is not gonna have any territories. There's one thing to be careful of, though, and that is this one-legged chicken, everyone's most favorite life and death problem, and that's one thing white has to be careful about. And so here, this next crawling move is absolutely crucial, and it's at a very good spot too. Black does not have time to, Hane and threaten just 2 white stones like this. This is white surrounding a little too much, and so this is like this would be perfect for white, no matter how black does it. Maybe here, and then connect underneath. If black extends, same thing, and white can extend out. This would be the way to go. Let's check this. These would be white ahead by 5.5 points. If white simply honeys here, this is 2.5, and if white extends, this is 3 points. This is basically what the AI wants both sides to play. This is Very interesting. Notice how white ends up surrounding territory with the thickness again, but um, but he surrounds a lot. So it's in fact here black has to go fight this out like this, which is very very interesting. Anyways, white is in an okay spot here, and then here. Eric Yoder goes for this extent, which is super super strong. Um, this is greatly risky, of course, and um, black is right back even in the game and slightly ahead after white. Eric Yoder played this move. This is another super aggressive move. Now remember, white before in this game played a super aggressive co-fight in the lower right corner. Remember that waiting move, and then white engaged in this very risky code, lost a little bit, and then here white goes again. One more move to strengthen white, but before white played it, white went for the attack, sort of not willing to give up the opportunity to go on the attack. Um, if the players knew the scores, maybe they would change, maybe they would not, and we don't know. In any case, white went for the super aggression here, and then this is where the game is going to go into the um, the exciting parts. White still retains the lead at this point, though I have no idea how to find the lead. I can imagine White trying to survive like this, but um, this is locally not alive. And but maybe with this turnout and something like this. So in effect, White would play here and then play this Atari. This would be like another very interesting but probably favorable for White code locally, although White stands to lose quite a lot. And um, so if Black plays it simple like this, I'm sure this is an overall good game for White. White is ahead by 16 points, but if Black commits to winning the ko by throwing in, I'm sure this result is not favorable for White. This is White by 1.5 points, so this would be a very very interesting way to play. And of course, if Black blocks, White would have this Sente again, and this is just no problem. So I think this is a key move. Look, we got to this without AI. Congratulations. Great. That was a key move. Unfortunately, if White were to play this move in the game, to play the correct, Sente move here, then White definitely would have crawled one more space at L18 before White played with J15 extending to the middle. So he's sort of like he's doomed to make the second mistake. Sort of, and this is a very gloomy game now for White. For White Ataris, this is not likely enough liberties to win this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 liberties. And so in the game, what Eric does is connect, and Black turns. The one-legged chicken strikes, and when White plays this Sente move, Black plays a very nice. This is like a tiger mouse move, except it's like a closed tiger mouse Panuki making move. It's great. Now you guys are wondering why White played C19. He needs to play this C19 in Sente in order to extend to here. And this locally is a totally alive shape. This is called the bloated cow shape, where you can't fill it in. The bloated cow. Another bloated cow is my favorite. Most people's favorite is the one-legged chicken. This is Black ahead by 3 points, so still very, very playable for both sides. Unfortunately, this move is not gonna get the Sente that he needs, and Black damages the other eye. And it looks like white is not going to reach enough liberties at the end of this, for sure. This is a desperate ploy to clamp down on black's liberties. Also, black is only ahead by 15 points at this moment, so it's still not that it's still within reach, in other words. So let's see how this ko is going to get fought. White makes a push. This push may have made a ko threat for white, but I don't think this one is going to be large enough, unfortunately. So the push just doesn't do too much. So we'll see how the ko happens. Possible triple ko with another throwing here. In fact, I do think black should play this one and then connect this and then play this way. As soon as white plays one liberty, then it's a double ko for black, and this is white dead in center. White is just dead now, and white is still dead after playing one more move here. This is a double ko, and black can resolve the ko like this, but white cannot resolve the ko. White has to capture, and black can capture this, and it's just goes on forever. And anyways, in the game, black plays a19. This is going to be just as good. They both read out this double ko that's going to happen. Oh my god, what happened here? They have both read out the double ko that's going to happen, and black was going to be ahead by 15 points. Black is ahead by 14 points. So despite dying with the double ko, it's still a close game. I'm going to refresh the page and let's see. Great. Okay. White plays to make a big center. Now, we did say in another broadcast that making a big center is not what you want to do. To try to come back when you're significantly behind, you would rather invade a big spot and then make your opponent try to capture you and so on. So this move is a mystery. So black plays here, and then black. This is all reasonable. This S7 move is a bit of a mystery, but I see. Okay, so at the end of all of these exchanges, 11.5 point now. The S7 move does have a good purpose, and it's for this. White can make a ko here, and then black can capture white. So this is a way to fix the ko as large as possible. So this totally secures the territory for very interesting. So white captures, black connects. White is dead with a double ko. This means black is ahead. Let's move on to the other game, but let's give you guys a point count. The AI is black ahead by 11, 10, 20, 30, 40, up to this line is 50. And then the bottom 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55. 55 on the bottom and 50 there. That's 105 points for black. That's quite a lot. And on the other hand, for white, 10, 20, 30, 35, 40. This is 40 plus the center, 10, 20, 30. Up to this line is 30. And then 10 here, that would be 80 for white, like this. It's conceivable, if white plays in the center, he gets 10 more. So 105 to 80. Very interesting. It's not likely that black will destroy much more. So if white makes another 10 points on the left-hand side, 5 to 10 points on the left-hand side, it is white's move after all. Maybe black is only ahead by 11 points. 10.5 points. because it's white's to move, and even though he has 105 points, which is a gigantic number, hope Michael is able to play well and then hold on. If they're if we're moving on to the other game now. Um, if history is any guide, in this pro qualifiers, two outstanding 12-year-olds participated: Daniel Zhou and and Michael Xu and Evan Tan. I think Evan is 13 now. So well, what Evan played super well too. He was 2-2, almost made it through. Um, We've seen Daniel play several inside his territory moves near the end of the game, sort of saying, "I'm winning by a lot, so I'm just gonna fix my territory," and lost 5, 6, 4, 5 points each of those moves. But Michael, when we saw his game this morning against Edward in a must-win game, in a super big lead with like 25, 30 points, Michael played very, very aggressively, or aggressive enough, and kept opening up his lead. So if history is any guide, a 10-point lead in the hands of Michael is rather safe, in terms of, he's not going to lose the lead by playing overly safe. He might lose the lead by going too hard and then losing groups and making mistakes, but he's not gonna like make the easy mistakes of just playing too soft. So that game still has a lot to see. Here, Guanyu was the highest rated player of our masters. He's 7.8, and he was the only player to defeat Bill in last year's Go Congress. He is not as dominant this year, however, than he was last year. We've seen a few shaky Joseki choices, Joseki mess ups, and a few yeah, only a few Joseki mess ups, so not as dominant as before. Still a powerhouse, and very likely um, much stronger than Qiyou, the 4-1 number 2 finisher in Division 2. Wu, he has gotten a lot stronger recently than his AGA rating, which was last updated in 2022. Um, so it's a question of how much he has improved since his last pro qualifiers, um, and yeah, I remember he won some tournament in Toronto. So um, look to yeah. So it's very good to see here. If he didn't lose his last round in round 5 against Eric Yoder, um, he would seem like the unstoppable juggernaut that we often see. So, okay, um, very, very interesting here. This is a very unconventional double Hane Joseki, and this is interesting. AI prefers white by something like half of a point here, so it's very interesting for Guanyu to be choosing this variation. Um, Very interesting. So here's the local move is this move to end the Joseki. It's a very thick, big move. Um, okay, white Tanukis, that's also okay. This knight's move is very, very big. For black to play, it's a knight's move. For white to play, it's the pressing move. If you guys are wondering why does white not play the knight's move, it's because white has a follow-up Sente move, this, which forces black to um, defend in the corner. So that's why white prefers to block. Black does not quite have a follow-up move um, after these exchanges. So for black prefers the gote, but um, you know, but faster and more efficient move here. Sorry, here. And that's why this move is played. White plays very reasonable, large. This is the extension for both sides. So seems like White's opening is a little more AI sound than wow, and even this move, very interesting. White is ahead by zero point 0.8, so overall, totally even game. Black invades the bottom. This is clear. This is clear. White pincers. Um, yeah. And the next move, black jumps out, and then let's see what white does. The headbutting move is one of the favorite moves for players learning AI Josekis. This is quite greedy, and it's very easy to see how uh, the values are being made in the corner. And then the next move, play here, play this jump, all good. And the trick here for black is not to answer directly, but yes, to play this move, and the Hane, Atari, and then play this move. So this sort of forms a very good overall. It's flimsy, but it sort of like everything holds kind of surround against the white corner. Uh, Sometimes black also just plays this move, this Hane first, and then plays the outside. In any case, black just plays the shoulder hit, white counters by connecting underneath. This is sort of expected for both sides. So this reverts to a 3-3 invasion opening. I wonder if it's better for black to play this way. Probably it's half a point better. This way black is ahead by half of a point. But okay, no big deal though. So black blocks. This destroys a lot of white territory, but black also goes into the white shapes, and the right-hand side is relatively strong. So now black is on the defensive. Let's see how the next few moves are made. This Atari is another one of those very thick, very steady moves that we talked about. And here, look for black to try to do something to white's corner. Black Hanes, very nice. This is setting up for um, the attach, cutting the knight's shape at the waist kind of a move, and black is looking for something like this shape. This noticeably looks like a very good shape for black. That's clearly going to be his plan. Um, if white Atari is here, for example, this is also going to be relatively good for black. The three stones next to very strong white shapes now is very dry, and um, this is um, probably okay for black. Let me ask AI. This position would be black by 2 and 2.8 points. So white counters by playing this diagonal move. This is very good, and this is a move that I wish I knew. Um, um, anyways, this is a proper move. It's very thick. It helps white totally connect on the left hand side. And yes, you can play this move even when black plays c2, even after black plays c2. Yes, and very good point to know. Clearly, like Wu Qiyou, he has studied with AI a lot, and this understanding is beyond me. Well, now I know this because in one of my matches against Ryan, I had a similar position. In that game, I played something that's further out for something that was a little bit worse as a result. So only after I looked at the AI reviews did I know that this is still a fine move. Qiyou, Wu, White, he knows right away, so he's a very scary opponent. Um, if for players watching, if you bet on Guanyu Song in the beginning of the game and you see Qiyou make these kinds of these moves, you'd be very afraid. Yeah, I don't fancy Guanyu's chances at this point, but he does have a half a point lead, and that's when he pushes. The move here is to extend into the corner for the zero point 0.5 points of lead. In the game, Black pushes. He wants this to be more Sente. He's afraid that if he extends, when the push happens later, White may not answer, and White may save the two stones like this. But this was not necessary, and in fact, it was worse because when the push happens, White hanes and then captures a one stone. Now White seems to have gotten both sides. The two stones here plus one, and the corner is alive too. Plus the right hand side is very, very strong. So something like this is just not going to do anything to White. And so here White claws back a tiny bit of advantage um, in the game. White is now at the point of the connect. White is now ahead by 1.2 points, and White just moves on. This is peaceful, however, so I'm glad to see that the game will not get too lopsided right in the beginning. This is a very interesting move. Um, this move is, of course, meant to generate Sente, and hopefully, the best case scenario is to get something like this exchange where Black is gonna move on to the top. This is like the most ideal thing. Um, of course, if White answers something like this, Black again just makes the top. This is a very attached way of playing. In one of the AlphaGo games against Lisa, though, AlphaGo played a move like this move, and so this is very reminiscent of that shape. White invades the top, not answering, and then Black plays here. Okay, it's very tempting, of course, for White to play this one, where it's a nice two-space extension on either side. Um, but um, this is very, very AI-esque. Black's strength on the right-hand side, White wants to stay a little farther away. Plus, this kind of a one-space extension is itself a fine shape locally against this high black corner. Um, Clearly, like Qiyou has studied AI variations quite a lot, and it's definitely paying off. Okay, at this point, White has a 1.8 point lead. However, this is where um, however, if you bet on Qiyou Wu White before the game, this is where the good news stops. The AI variations are most likely super helpful in the opening stages, and we are now past the opening and we're into hand-to-hand bloody combat, and this next move is a clear example. Clearly Black cut just in preparation for this. For White to survive, the following will happen, and so now we can see the value of that cut. Now Black can capture two stones. Of course, Black will play something even better than my move. It's going to play these, and here you see how Black has saved that one stone, has skipped that one stone, and this is a 10-point lead for Black. Crazy. White is going to fight back, but this kind of fight is still very, very helpful for Black. So here in the first fighting of the game, White has clearly White was not sure what is going on here, and then I wouldn't have any idea. What, you're planning to kill me like this? That's crazy. That's crazy, but but it works, and it's tremendous, and it's going to give Black a bit of an edge. Um, Black is now ahead by 1 point, still basically even. However, at this point, White peeps here. This is meant for Black to play on the bottom, and then this push and Hane is going to be Sente. Um, is going to be Sente because of this. Black has two liberties, so very likely White could salvage some additional value out of the right hand side dead group. If White gets his way, Black would be up by 1.2 points. He does not get his way, however, and here, guess what? This is 5 liberties versus 4, but How does black counter this? He counters this with the everyone's favorite Joseki shape, the one-legged chicken. And so as a result, black is able to play on the outside and keep white dead. So white has played inside, black has played a little bit outside of that, and now black has a 2.4 point advantage in the game. Of course, during the game, neither player will know. In fact, they wouldn't even have you know, a, the players have no clue about this state of this game. Um, they would count a lot of territory, and it's very, very hard to know who's winning. Okay, so this is played out, but that's just some exchanges. Nothing is going to happen. Um, okay, this exchange is strengthening white at the expense of black, but black strengthens the corner. This feels like this fighting went a little bit good for black. Being able to keep the corner totally secure is very, very valuable. Aha, but white cashes in by basically capturing 3 stones here. Um, wow, what a closely contested game. I have no idea who's winning. Apparently, black is up by 8.4 points. So time to give you guys an idea. At this point, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65 for black over here, 10 over here, and 5 over here. So now black has a very, very even 80 points. And white has, assuming the 3 stones have died, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 60 points up to this line. And how much more can white surround in the middle, and is there any weaknesses on the upper side that black can take advantage of? um, I can see why AI prefers black now. I would prefer black too. Okay, another very safe move by black here. Just a jump surrounds another 2 points or so for black. But this does allow white to surround the right-hand side. Clearly, black thinks, Guanyu thinks, has just done the counting that we talked about with a more finer comb and detail. He's like, okay, I think I can win like this. He extends and plays the endgame moves. Very interesting. Black's lead, given this very, very safe play, is 5.7 points. In other words, the lead has shrunk a little bit, and here they are going to go for the final fight. And guess what? We are going to have a final ko. Yes, Atari here is crucial. Atari here would be white losing the Liberty race by 1. And so Atari here, and and then this capture, and then this capture. You're gonna fight this code back and forth. Um, but in the game, black gives this up, and then this allows white to keep the 3 stones captured. Very interesting decision here. This is definitely a safety play. I wonder if it will be okay. Um, Black is ahead by only 4 points now. White Ataris and black plays. Black gets Sente to play in the middle. However, white plays very strong moves, saving the 1 stone, destroys a lot of middle potential. Let's see this. This is likely going to be the final fight here, and white gives up on this. At this point, black is ahead by 4.3 points. So it's very, very close. It must be a great pity for white that this counterattack is not going to work out, and I don't think it is going to work out. So in hindsight, maybe this has to be played, giving this up, and is okay. And so this ends with black capturing 4 stones, white captures 3 stones. This push is very, it might be worth 2 points. And white surrounds a little bit of additional territory in the center. Black's lead at this point is 3.0 points. Here we have caught up to the game. It's in the end game now. And Here it was 3. Probably white has to block, right? No, white does not have to block. Anyways, black has played very safe, defended, and in the game, white played this move, surrounding a few more points on the bottom. We have a few more moves. White pushes here. Black's lead is 4.5. Very likely safe. Very likely a safe lead now. This is 4.5, 5 points is not likely gonna be lost in this end game. There's only minor end games left. So very, very interesting middle board fights. Black surrounding, an additional 7 points in addition to the 8 points capturing 4 stones, may prove to be decisive. Okay, and so with this said, let's go back to the original game. Remember, we left off here at move 155. Michael Xu, the 12-year-old, has an 11-point lead over Eric Yoder at this point. And white plays here, this is exactly right. Remember, we recommended you do not want to surround. The way to come back is not surrounding a very big center or any big amount of territory for that matter. If you're behind significantly, you're not likely to be able to just come back by not doing some damage to the opponent. So this is very reasonable. White extends to the side, claiming the side, and he extends very, very far. This is as close to this position as it is to the white position. White's position clearly not as much influence as not as much thickness as black. So he's claiming a lot. And Michael plays one pretty safe move. This is connecting to your thickness. It's not going to be that big. And next move, white surrounds the center. A very good showcase of like, what's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine too. But this is fine for black so far. 9.5 points of lead for black. This press may not be the biggest on the board. Hopefully it fixes the cutting here, but it may or may not. Michael seems to be in game over mode though. The last few set of moves, they've surrounded about 15 points, but they've totally covered up the black super strong thickness. I hope he has enough. It feels to me like these moves definitely are not going to be, are going to give up some amount of lead. And this is something that I really cautioned players against. You never want to play soft, ever, basically. So white goes for the hane and cut. This is the follow-up that's coming after white played that g7 move. G7 was not that big of a move territorially, so he's definitely looking for something like this. It's tempting to go for the cut and then just win a lot. This is going to be a very nice
Wow.
net. So that would be a way to come back. Michael's not going to fall for this. He wouldn't be in the semifinals if he did. And he protects over here. Perfect. So unfortunately, this is not going to do too much damage. And he just presses, okay. I think white ended up, Eric ended up not doing enough over here, having to play this diagonal move here. This is not going to be too much, surrounding too much. This might be a little bit desperate. At this point, the black's lead is 6.6 points. It's sort of getting dangerously close to the devil's number. Very steady, just ending the game kind of play. Now, before we left, we said Michael is not likely to lose due to some playing too soft or something like that. He is playing very soft in this end game. He's not very aggressive. Let's see if he is gonna be okay. Um, okay, okay. White plays here. Um, right now, Black's lead is before this move. Black's lead is 7.5 points, so plenty. And despite all that strong safety plays, Black has only given up 4 points of advantage. Right now, it feels like White needs to strengthen the middle. Um, this move is perhaps the most that White can push forward. And if this happened, Black would have about a this is going to happen, and then Black is going to have a 8 point lead, and that's gonna be the game. In the game when White played this move, um, Michael does not just simply respond. This would be much closer than 8 points. This would be if Black couldn't Hane there, this would be only 3.5 points. So a very good attempt by White, but unable to do any damage to Black's insides, and the code not helping White with like 1 or 2 points, um, and Black responding. This is gonna be another safe victory for Black. In fact, here Black takes the middle, destroys parts of it, and then this is noticeably 4 or 5 points worse, 7 points worse than our diagram before. And this is Black comfortably winning. Go very, very nice. Looking back into this game, clearly Eric Yoder came out fighting, and Michael too, faced with an unfamiliar upper side situation. At this point, White is ahead by 6.4. Yoder's opening was very well ahead, but Michael kept calm. He just kept developing, and it was actually Eric Yoder who went for the first very strong attack with that elephant's eye poke out. And if he went for some gentler attack, this is a 4.5 point advantage. It's okay to go for this, and he actually does very well here. They go for a very strong push and cut, and here Eric Yoder needed to stay calm and defend his weaknesses. Again, it's very, very hard to tell. This gave Black this counter attack and this ko, which was very, very heavy. White retained a small advantage, but only about 3 to 4 points. And now White needed to do something to destroy some of the Black shapes. And he does go for this. He does invade, but in the invasion fight, in a very close game, the key point, the key move again was one more defensive move was needed before attacking, and it was that move, that aggression move, that really swung the game back into Black's favor. And how can you not like the one-legged wings? Oh boy, yeah, this was very close too, and it just didn't work out. If White didn't have all these potential resources, perhaps White would have found it much easier to play L18, an extra crawling move. But he had all these potential resources, and this is a case where the resources sort of, it's like a mirage in the desert, and ended up totally dying here. The codes did not materialize. In other words, as soon as White gave up the initial code, this was going to be a double code, totally dead shape for White, and that was very, very decisive. Only 11 points, which was very surprising. but 11 was enough. Connect here. At this point, only 11 points, but it was enough. Or it even got this push. Maybe this move, but yeah, 11 points is significant enough where it. 11 points, incidentally, guys, was about how much Stanislaw was up in the Beihai tournament. It was the closest in the last 5 years that any of us Western professionals have come to winning a game in the major tournaments. And it's amazing, or it's sad for the North Americans that it was an European professional who came closest. But let's just say we're all gonna continue to try next time. All right, so this game is rapidly drawing to a conclusion. We have picked back up again, and Black is ahead by 10.7 points. So very likely this game is going to end about a 10-point win for Black. For Michael, his safety plays worked. The jitters, the adrenaline, the jitters did not affect how he played, and he just really ended the game in the point at which he had the 100 and was 157 or so, 10-point lead, and he ended the game 60, 70 points later, always like small difference end game moves. So very, very nicely played. Congratulations to Michael. Eric still has a chance. This is only the first game out of the best of 3. So very, very nicely played. Before you guys say, wow, Eric could have just went for, if only he pulled back a little bit, and then he would have been so much better. If Eric actually did pull back, it may be a totally different game, but it may not be better. So the aggressive player, there's a very, very important reason to be aggressive in these games. Usually the player who wants to win more wins, and usually the player who wants to win the game more is the more aggressive player. So that's why the game is so good. The overcome with the good moves.
A quick question for you, Michael, and a couple of the guys were talking about it earlier. Talk to us about the issue of both physical and mental stamina, especially in a contest like this. The guys have been playing 2 very serious games, each day. Long games. Can you talk about that a little bit?
2 games, yeah. Reasonable players should be able to play 2 games, no problem. Should be able to play 2 games. The players who complained about having too many games in one day are usually not playing the game that much anymore. And there used to be, back in the days, the US, the first time we had the US Masters tournaments where the Masters and the US Open combined, we had 11 rounds, which was 2 games a day in the Go Congress, and that was great. Gradually many people complained about how tiring it is, and now we only have 7 rounds, and only one day do we have 2 games. We're not playing the World Championships here. It's a high quality tournament. They're all very good players, but we're not playing the World Championships, and we don't have all day to just play one game. I think so. It's very, very important to play at least 2 games a day in this kind of format. We're just not going to get anywhere if we don't play.
Right. No, just thinking. I'm just, especially games like you were just going over, where these are, there's not somebody, dying and changing the whole. They're not blowouts, right? They're couple points, right?
Yeah.
And so you really have to be sharp throughout the game. There's really, I don't think from what you're saying, I don't see a whole lot of coasting. You know what I'm saying? It's you have to be very
Yeah, yeah.
careful. So that's from
Agreed,
one.
agreed. I have one thing to say about that, and that is so the question is so one player may have had a grueling long, like 3.5 hour game, 4 hour game, and the other player may have won the game in 2 hours, had a very easy time. And so the key for this is for the player who had a long, grueling game to suck it up and and just takes the disadvantage. You're trying to become a professional player here. You're not trying to, you're supposed to be able to take a little bit of. You're supposed to be able to play the game. So that's my take on this. And also the players, yeah, it's the least you can do. There's a lot of uncertainty no matter what. There's the biggest matter for these players in this pro qualifiers is usually from like being able to sleep at night. Usually when I go to go tournaments, I have trouble sleeping at night. It's an unfamiliar city. It's not cozy, a nice cozy home. And that affects people a lot more than playing the game. The game is just is you know presumably you love playing the game, so of course you're gonna be able to take you know to play a 3 hour game, 4 hour game, no problem. Um, so yeah, it's definitely don't make this a one round per day kind of thing. Um, and at the end of this, because we have a two division system, a lot of players come to these qualifiers and they play 4 games, 5 games. In Division One, two players made it out, but all the other players only got to play 4 games over the span of 3 to 4, 5 days. So it's it's not um, you could also argue the other way where we probably want more games, and the European professional qualifiers had a round robin with 11 rounds, and a lot of their weaker players, the players who lost more than they won, they got a lot of very good practice, and I think that's a very very good thing too. So um, so in terms of formatting, the timing definitely not, longer games, shorter games. They're not, even if they are 70-year-olds, they should still like the game enough to play 2 games a day. 2 games is really not that much.
Related question about time management. When we've certainly seen some really interesting time management in these, over the last couple of days. What's your own feeling in terms of, do you want to spend more time on the opening, burning up more time in the opening? I've seen some players who then play, anywhere from the middle game on, in Viayomi, and other people who play fairly rapidly in the opening, sort of saving their time for when they might be more complicated. Any thoughts on that?
The time settings seem generally very very long, and 75 minutes is already comparable to the Go Congress games, and so 75 should be enough to get through the middle game, to the middle game at least. So and then I think they have 1 minute of additional Byoyomi, so this is quite a long game. We got 75 minutes, so 2.5 hours of main time, plus a minute each. I think the professional tournament with me and Ryan and Yungyang, Bill, in April, we had 1 hour and 1 minute Byoyomis. So this is even longer than that. So it's a relatively long time setting. So I think, and it's very comfortable. It's a very comfortable 1 minute of Byoyomi at the end.
It's a lot of time, right?
It's a lot of time. You can just basically spend as much time as you want.
Hey, apparently there have been developments in the Yoder shoe game according to the chat. Let's take a look.
Cool. Before we leave, just 3 regular end games. Guanyu Song has played a little bit safe. His lead was down to 4.5 at some points. But here White played a slightly disconnect, which allowed more points to be destroyed. And at the end of this here, Black has a 5.7 point lead. So this is gonna not swing anymore. So we go back to the Michael Xu versus Eric Yoder game, and we had left off a little bit before. We said it was a 10.5 point lead for Black, for Michael, and nothing was going to happen to swing that. So any developments will have to be it's likely to be in his favor, or else nice, very interesting. Wow. So remember we talked how in the last really, so wow. Okay.
we got a double wow from Michael. A double wow.
This is a Sente move in the game. Michael Atari'd here, allowing the code to happen. Usually you don't, but I think at this point, this throw-in is definitely a code. So fireworks did happen near the end of the game. Very, very good. Wow, if Michael gets overturned like this, that would be really something. So here they're gonna fight Zako. I'm sure he just overlooked Zako, an understandable oversight, being 12, and that's okay. So Black plays here. White has some co-threats, not that many. So they're gonna fight this Ko. This is definitely Eric Yoder's last chance for sure. Throws in, okay, and then plays here. Unfortunately, this is gonna be a co-threat. Yes, White has to capture it. White only has a few more codes left, and what's going to happen is here, Black did play this move. That's going to be another code threat, and Black will capture. White will capture this. That's a code threat. Capture this back. That's a code threat. Capture this back. Atari is a code threat. Capture this back, and throw in is one. Capture this back. Now is a little bit tough for White to find additional code threats. Now this code is not going to be big enough, so that's out of the question. White will need to play this one. Maybe the throw in here. This is nice. This is a nice code threat, and very nice. It looks like White probably will win the code. Nice. Black will have to find something like this, and then with the help of AI, we can tell who's winning this. This is probably White is ahead. Yes, this is Black only capturing 3 stones, destroying 10 points and making 6. White is capturing 20 and then saving 5. So at this point, we may see something like this kind of a give up. Oh boy. I think this is enough gain for White to swing back the game. Okay, let's go back. This is where the game is currently. Black is gonna play this one code threat. White has one more with the 018 Atari. Black has one more on the right, and at that point, White is gonna play here. You guys want me to just tell you what the score is?
Yes, please.
White is gonna win the ko, and white is gonna be ahead by 6 points. Oh boy. Boy. Oh boy, Michael's gonna kick himself after this one. This was all he had to do was take another look. 2 seconds was all that was needed.
Can we just take a quick look at how that developed again?
Oh yeah. Here. They're just playing 1 point, 2 points end games now. And White even played this connect, which was worse, 2 points. Michael goes for this Atari, and at this point, White connects. White did not connect this. White did not capture this. White connected here to take away the last liberty on the outside against Black. And here, some kind of an oversight. Maybe he just expected this capture. Maybe his mind, whatever the case, White connected here. Black was supposed to fight this ko, or to protect the inside, play here or something. He played this move, which was it's like connecting a ko. It's worth 1 point or half of a point, and he expected this game to be over. White to connect here, he would connect here, White would connect here, and the game would be over. Maybe he would connect this at the end, but he neglected this row in. Probably thought this was some kind of a double ko too. That's what I thought first. But wow, what a shocking twist at the end of the Michael Eric game, and we saw this game first, and we spent the most amount of time on this, and so it's quite fitting that this did turn out to be the most interesting game. And then they're just doing all they can to fight this ko now. This throw in, I think, here White, I think now is time for Black to capture this to get rid of one more ko threat against him. And this, of course, would give up this capture. This would still be a victory for Black. White damages Black's territory, but nowhere close to 11 points. Yeah. So that would allow Black to, defend one more ko threat, which may have, if Michael had more time left on his clock, like more than the 75 minutes, if he still had main time left, and at the point of White throwing in here, and if he wasn't able to, play the right. If that was his last chance, it would be that would be real sad. Okay, and so this game has played on until this capture, until White threw in here. Yes, so if okay, in fact, they have just played it all. In fact, so here, if Black had one, if White had one less ko threat, then when White Atari throws in here, Black can capture once, and with one less ko threat, White is gonna have to play this one maybe, and then Black can capture this, and then because there's no more ko threats, White would have to play here. Black would connect. White would be able to capture that one stone like this, but that was still a slight White victory at the end here. But we'll see how. So maybe in the game Black needed actually two more kos, and it was just not gonna work. In the end here, despite Black seemingly having so many more ko threats than White does, it was actually White actually pulled out many ko threats, and White won the ko. This is a shocker. a great shocker of a game. Very good that we saw this amazing. Um, if Michael eventually goes on to win this series, then this would be a big speed bump. If Michael actually loses, and this would be a great growing experience, I'm sure. Getting bamboozled in the end by something approaching as simple as a simple Atari. Oh boy, this is
You,
this
you,
this
you know, Michael, and you probably know the story. I'm reminded of Bill Lynn, who played, um, played in the ProQual when he was fairly young. I think maybe 17. Does that sound right? And had a very similar, very. It was. He remembered it when he won. He told me the story, and
ah
it really was. It was a very difficult loss. It was a very similar kind of story where he was. It was just a unexpected kind of a thing. And in the end, it was a good, as you say, a good growing experience for him. But I think it's fair to say it was fairly traumatic at the time.
oh wow. Most important thing, guys, when you suffer losses is to continue to play the game as
Mm-hmm.
much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yep. Okay, so this game has ended. They're gonna go count now. Um, Eric Yoder is gonna win the game by 4.5 points, and just the coast threats in the middle was just not big enough, and Eric just pulled off one too many coast threats. It was the most complicated thing was gonna be here when White threw in here. Um, when White threw in here to capture this for one less coast threat, what was gonna happen was this. Um, Atari, this, capture, this, and then block, and then capture. At this point, White would run out of huge threats and would have to throw in here, and then play this move, and then Black would be able to. Yes, this was his last coast threat and play here. At this point, White would have to play this coast threat, the other one being not big enough. And here, if Black connects, White can connect here. Actually, here connect would be good. White would have to capture. Then White would have to capture this, and so the question is, can who's gonna win this? This is Black by 0.4. Yeah, of course, White may have been able to find another co-threat, but I don't see it. I don't see it. This may have been his last chance. Okay, I will check.
I'm sorry. If we just go back to where to that, there's sort of those half point end games. But what should Black have? Seeing this now, Black's play was actually just to go ahead and make before the magic throw in at
Beforehand, yes.
So what's the correct play for Black?
Black had a very easy end game. All Black needed to do was connect here, capture this. These would all.
And then what's the score?
Black winning by 10.5.
Oh my God! Wow.
Mm-hmm. So it was a totally a very comfortable win. Although remember we counted 105 points for Black earlier, and over the course of the game, he has surrounded about 20 more. So the point totals are now like 155 to 108. So it's not the point totals are quite high up there. So it's conceivable anything is possible. Anyways, so that last. So White definitely needed every coast thread that he got, and so this one Black had a chance to make White have less co-threats. Um, would that have swung the game or kept the game for black is hard to say, but um, that was definitely uh, the thing to do to do that. Here, 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 and here white would have to go for this one. Black would capture. White would capture. Black would play this. I really don't see how white could play anything other than this. And then connect is not possible. So this was going to be played. White was going to have to connect and try to win uh, this ko. There's a few more ko threats here. But if black just ends up playing the endgame here, um, and then one ko each, this would have been black by 0.4. So black is winning by half of a point at the end of this, with black taking the last dame point. Okay, maybe we'll see. Maybe there's other moves, other potential co threats. Maybe white plays a Soroyan first. There's many different things possible, but anyways, as the game goes, white wins by 4.5. Very, very good good game. Don't feel sad for Michael. He's gonna be back tomorrow. He still has a chance. Again, if you are pro material, you'll be able to withstand one loss and come back. So I still have full confidence in Michael. I have a feeling he's gonna make us proud coming up.
And I think we have to say congratulations to Eric, who's been working on his game for a long time.
Yes. Eric has made it to the semifinals twice before, at least twice before. He made it in 2022, and he made it in my year in 2023.
Mhm.
So this is the third time that he has made it to the semifinals. So very good. Last year in 2024, there was a three-way tie for the top three. And the way tiebreakers came out, Eric got the third out of the three-way tie. So it was only by sheer luck that he didn't make it last year. And so he's the pro qualifiers is sort of Eric's tournament, and he seems to have always done very well in this tournament. At Go Congress, we were talking with Eric, and he said, "Wow, I struggled at the Go Congress at the Masters division, but that's okay. I'll just let them think that I am weak, and I'll do my best at the pro qualifiers, and that's where I will destroy the kids or beat the young kids." And he did beat Daniel, one 12-year-old, and this one he beat Michael, the other 12-year-old. So he has kept his word, and he has done what he said. By the way, Eric Yoder is the only American player left in the round of 4. So the other 3 players being Canadian. Guanyu, he lives in California, so he's like half and half, but I believe his passport is Canadian. So
Well, congratulations to the Canadians. Good for them.
well, yes, and the Americans did better than last year. Last year, the top 4 were all Canadians, so good. Congratulations to the Canadian. Okay, and here we're gonna go check out the other game.
I think they maybe looks like they're counting now, or maybe they have counted.
This is the Eric Yoder game. This is gonna be a actually. So white wins. So white wins by 4.5 with 6.5 komi. So this is gonna be a 3.5 point victory for white at the end.
You're talking about Song Woo, right?
No. This one, Eric Yoder game.
Oh yeah,
We're
yeah,
going to the we're going to that game now, and this game is here. We're going to this game now. This game has not finished yet. They are fighting this Ko at the end here.
I think they
White clearly, yeah.
No, it must. Let me just throw this. Let me just go real quickly to the room cam so you can see what I'm seeing. And it just looks like they're reviewing that game, so I think it must be done. Yep.
White clearly very desperate to gain any points possible. Plays when Black plays the F1 connect, White connects here to. This is 1 point in Sente or reverse Sente, and that opens up this Ko, and White was not able to win the Ko in the end, and in fact commits more in the middle here, and just loses by more and more and resigned. This was a very, very close game throughout. We saw some safety plays by Black, letting a 10-point lead shrink to about letting a 10-point lead around this area, 7-8 points. 8-point lead at this point, shrink down to about 5. But still holding on strong for the win. Okay, so we have all the games finished in the first round of the semifinals. Great.
Yeah, just a quick update. I talked to Ihan. So round 2 definitely tomorrow morning, and then depending on results, obviously, what happens there. I think the plan is there's a potential for playoff games in the afternoon if necessary, or potentially afternoon off if we have some 2-0 winners, and then we would go to final in the evening. So we'll just have to stay tuned and keep everybody posted. We have to wait and see what happens in the morning.
Yes. So it's best of 3. The round 2 is tomorrow, guys, and there may be round 3s tomorrow.
Right.
Afternoon.
So
okay, great. So yeah, very, very nice games tonight, this afternoon. Very good games earlier this morning too. So it looks like Eric Yoder has turned.
He came to play.
He came to play with all the tricks at the end. This may not have been intentional, but it worked, and this was very dramatic. So congratulations!
Did not see the throw-in coming. That was just an amazing move. I think the both could dream of that. Well, Michael, the play was amazing, and as always, your commentary spot on. So really appreciate you taking the time to do that. So really, we will see you all bright and early tomorrow morning, 9:30, and again, we'll just we'll wait and see what happens from there out. But as always, we appreciate all of the sharp insights, Michael.
Oh yeah, thank you guys. These games were so good to watch. Yeah. All right.
Okay, everybody, be well. We'll see you at 9:30 tomorrow. Take care. Signing off. Thank you, Michael.
All right, see you, Chris. All good. All right, see you. See you next time.
Yep.
Okay. Rest well.
Yeah, you too.